Hi guys, we're talking personal space. Now, personal space is a very interesting phenomena, and the one sense that I want to focus on most is the sense of touch, because touch is in your skin, and you've got skin right down from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. So wherever you've got skin, you've got tiny little receptors that take in various touch stimulation through to the brain. It's in the form of touch, light touch, deep touch, temperature, even the movement of hair on your skin will give you feedback through to your touch system. And our personal space, how comfortable we feel with personal space or how we use our personal space is basically a product of your sensory wiring, meaning your sensory thresholds with regards to the touch system. We know typically we have people who've got low thresholds for the touch system. That means they are more prone to get sensitive to any type of stimulation that gets onto the skin. They typically have a bigger body space. They don't like people in their space, definitely not people from behind. And they could be quite fussy with how their hair touches their face, even the feeling of your glasses on your nose or jewelry or clothing. Those are direct touch stimulation. But then we also have more indirect touch stimulation, is the potential of someone else being in your space and touching your body and your skin. So as I've explained, low threshold people for the touch system in particular have got a bigger body space and is quite adamant about where they sit, but seating positions, where we sit, what is in front of us, what is behind us, what is the propensity for touch in our space, is a really practical yet powerful way to make people feel more comfortable. On the other end to it, we have our high threshold group, high touch thresholds, which does mean these people enjoy, seek out touch stimulation through to the body. They often have a small body space, quite comfortable in big groups, would touch others, would hug others, would happily go into a full lift or an elevator when there's people in their space. So they obviously have what we call a smaller body space, and they're really comfortable with people engaging with them. Now, obviously, personal space don't just relate to the touch system, but the touch system is really key in the way that we experience or use our sense of personal space. And why personal space is so important? Because it can be a predictor of where we sit and our seating arrangement, and that can have a huge impact on our day-to-day productivity. So we know typically low threshold groups who are more sensitive to the touch system prefer to work in smaller groups with less people. They're happy to engage with people, but not every day, not all the time, not in a very people-filled space. Okay, so typically that group, it would look at the touch system only, really thrive in a home working environment where there's not a lot of activity that goes around them. And the opposite is true for our touch seekers, people with high threshold for the touch system. They seek out people, they want to be engaging with people, they are obviously a lot more inclined to go back to the office, and they actually naturally go back in an office environment because it's filled with people. So just looking at the touch system briefly, the other systems also play a role, but the touch system, as I've mentioned, is quite critical. Hopefully this has added some insight for you to become more sensory intelligent. So that's all for today, folks. Take care and stay safe. Cheers.